2024. The invocation will be provided by our fellow Vice Chairman, Commissioner Winters. The Pledge of Allegiance will be by Commissioner Mike Hughes. Please stand.
How we pray. Father, we come together today to do business. We come today to do business. Thank you that you're always there. Whether it's fall, spring, winter, or summer, you're there for us. The Bible says that you see even the sparrow that falls. Know what we ate for breakfast, what our afternoon, put our lives in your hands. Ask that the decisions that we make today be not only pleasing to our constituents, you, we pray. In Christ's name.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I want to remind everyone when they're speaking, please push the red button on. They can't hear you in outer space unless you push it on. I'd like to recognize a couple of people here before we start. Chamber of Commerce, Doug Berry, DAV Chapter 25, Commander Wayne Walker, Dwight Woodcock, 3rd District Commander, American Legion, representing 7,200 Legion members. We welcome you here. Vanessa Kahn, Library Board Member, we also welcome you. Please call the roll.
Goins.
Here.
Slater.
Here.
Mason.
Here.
Ledford.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Winters.
Here.
Beatty. Hughes.
Here.
Alford.
Here.
Cry.
Here.
Blake.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
Gilbert.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
It's 13 present and 1 absent.
I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes from last week.
So move.
Commissioner Hughes, second on Commissioner Thompson. Open for discussion. There being no discussion, call the roll, please.
Goins.
Yes.
Slater.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ledford.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
It's 13 in favor, none opposed, and 1 absent.
Would like now to go to the mayor for the report from the county mayor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, everyone. Not really anything to report today. Our septic report, still 3 or 4 people not completed the process, which the deadline is coming up shortly in December. The movie being filmed out at EMS is wrapping up today. I think everything with that has gone well. I think it's been pretty good to have them there, right, Adam? And I was asked to do a proclamation honoring Josh Rogers for storming the field Saturday night as a Georgia fan, but I decided otherwise. So we do acknowledge even Georgia people can storm the field when Tennessee beats Alabama if they want to. We appreciate it. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman, unless someone has something for me.
Commissioner Blake, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Real quick, Mayor, did we ever get any feedback or an answer to our request for annexation on that road over on Menace Road?
No.
Have any time to?
They indicated that if they do it, they would do it the same time they're doing our property, and they said they wouldn't be in any hurry for it. So I don't expect it anytime real soon, but probably before construction time, because they wanted it to be in the city when they were doing construction. They will probably begin dirt work on that soon after finishing up down at the park. So hopefully in the very near future, they'll begin some portion of it. And then they've got to go through a bid process on the building. But I assume the road will happen at the same time.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Anything else? Anyone else? I'd like to go for the consent agenda for a motion to approve the consent agenda. Commissioner Hughes, Commissioner Thompson on the second, open for discussion. There being no discussion, call the roll, please.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll now move along to reports from committees and our districts. We'll start on our right with Commissioner Hughes, please.
Mr. Chairman, I have nothing today.
Commissioner Alford?
Yes, second district's doing well. I would like to make a motion later or now. If you would like, Chairman, I can do it now. We can do it a little later.
Do it now.
I'd like to make a motion to cancel the November 25 work session and the December 23rd work session to allow commissioners the opportunity to travel for the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. I'd like to make that and put that in the form of a motion, sir.
Do I have a second? I have a second for Commissioner Goins. We're open for discussion.
November.
December. 23rd. No further discussion. Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford, Fry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
It's 13 in favor and none opposed and one absent.
Anything else, sir? Commissioner Blake, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The HCI committee met last week and was delighted to learn that there is $730,000 available to award this year. The committee is now accepting letters of intent from eligible applications for projects within areas of health, wellness, and the quality of life. The deadline for letters of intent is December the 13th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. For more information, please contact HCI Administrator Lori Moultrie in the Commission office. As you know, each year, the HCI committee asks the commission if there's any funding priorities. If we have any parties, we need to let the committee know prior to December. So I don't know if we need to vote on that or not, but, if we do have some, I guess that'll be in the next session, over in the work session. So if we could, Lori, or Mr. Chairman, if you'll put it as an agenda item for next work session, to chat about the priorities that the commission wants to send over to the HCI committee.
Lori, you got it down.
Also, Mr. Chairman, if you'll, Crystal, just a quick question. The growth committee we're meeting here the other day, I attended the last two meetings. One of the things that was discussed in the last meeting was that they have quote-unquote a deadline to get their recommendation to the legislative bodies, the commission, the city council, and Charleston, by the end of December. I was right. I was wondering, one, if that can be waived, if we can give them more time if they need, and two, once it does come to us, how much time do we have? Are we on any type of deadline to approve or disapprove of whatever they recommend?
I do not know of any ability to waive it just because all of that is statutory. So I don't believe that there is any way to waive the time requirements. And I will have to look at how long you all have. I'm not exactly sure how long that is, but all that stuff is very strict about what happens if things don't happen in an orderly fashion. So it may depend on when it comes to you.
Well,
how
that's
long
the amount of time that the committee has to get their recommendation to the legislative bodies, but how long does the legislative bodies have once we officially receive that and start working on it?
We'll look at it, because like Bentley's saying, I don't think there's anything that's gonna say you have that long, but overall, there's a length of time. So we'll look at that and get back to you, but I don't think you
Because
can
hopefully
waive
we
it.
have at least 6 months as well to look at it. I mean, but that,
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. I can get you that answer, but I don't believe that you can waive or extend that period of time.
All right, so the deadline is the end
Is
of-
the deadline.
Is the deadline on them getting their recommendation to us.
Yes.
And you're gonna find out how much time we
Yes.
have, and obviously I assume that goes for the city council and
As
city
well,
council
yes.
as well, and on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Collins, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. All's well in the third. Just brag on our community so far. I think you guys may have an updated number, but early voting, we're in the midst of that, and I believe it was 11,000 individuals that are voting, that have voted early up to this point. I know that will carry on through October 31st. So great job from Bradley County, and continue to do that as early voting continues. And our centers are great. I was able to vote at the Northeast Rec Center, and it was an incredibly well-staffed, great facility, easy process. So thankful for that. Just encourage everybody to go vote. Thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Winters, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to join you in welcoming Vanessa Kahn to our meeting today. Vanessa grew up with my children. She's a fine student from Cleveland High School, went on to work at Lee University, and now is a supervisor. We know how important grant writers are to us. She's a grant writer for Lee for several years, getting ultimately millions of dollars to Lee. But she's also not only Vanessa Kahn, she's Vanessa Hammond. And we want to make that clear. Jerome is a leader as well at Lee, and we welcome her today. Chairman of the Legislative and Legal Committee, I'd like to call a meeting for Thursday of this week at 2 o'clock here in the Commission room. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilbert, please.
All is well in the 4th District.
Commissioner Thompson, please.
I got a couple of questions to ask the mayor here. One is our dirt removal on Menace Road. Has the bid been accepted on that, or has it been given out, or what?
Yes, did we vote on that at the last voting meeting? You've approved the lowest and best bid. We still are in contract negotiations. He's had a couple of proposed changes to the contract, so he and Crystal are still working on that. So the work's not begun. The timeline hadn't started yet.
Okay, and I know you've done one over this one time, but the building in the city, why can't we move them a little faster on this?
Well, the contract has a timeline on that, and it started from the day of the signing, and it's sometime in 25. So we can to that point, but it does have a deadline that they're supposed to be through.
Okay, thank you, though.
Commissioner Goins, please.
5th District, Sunwell, I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Commissioner Slater.
I have nothing to report today.
Commissioner Mason.
6th District's well, thank you.
Commissioner Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of items that I want to echo what Mylon was saying about HCI. I was on that committee for about 13, 14 years, so I am pleased to see $738,000. Never in my whole 13 years have I seen that amount. That's just fabulous. And I, too, want to congratulate Tennessee for their win. And early voting totals were 11,300 as of Saturday, and that's impressive, and we need to continue forward with that. I also want to thank Daniel Marlowe out there for taking care of one of our veterans, Jacob, and his son. I appreciate what you've done for that guy. Not a lot of people would have done what you've done, and I appreciate it a lot. And last but not least, my wife's birthday was Saturday. She was the amazing 60 years old. Oh, and I do have one announcement. We're going to do a insurance committee meeting Tuesday, the 29th at 9 a.m., if that's okay with everybody. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Rogers, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Cleveland Utilities has started to put gig internet out in the 7th District, the Georgetown Road area, the Freewell Road area. And so if you live in that area and you're not signed up for it and you're thinking about switching, I encourage you to call or look online at clevelandutilities.com and look at their services that are being provided. It's been great so far. I was able to get mine installed last week, and it's been really good for our family and very cost affordable. And I guess to say to the mayor real quick, it doesn't matter if you're a Georgia fan or a Tennessee fan or whatever fan. I think everybody hates Alabama. So it was good to see the Vols beat Bama on Saturday. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I'm not aware of any unfinished business. We'll move along to approval of the agenda. I entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda. So by Commissioner Goins, do I have a Commissioner Mason on the second? Any discussion, please? Yes. Commissioner Thompson would like to remove agenda item B. Okay. We'll now move along to agenda item A.
We need to
Commissioner,
call the roll.
call the roll. Okay. Call the roll, please. Yes.
I have one question about that. So what are we doing about this, Howard? What's gonna be going on?
Ocoee Utility.
Okay, so,
He needs to work that out with Ocoee Utility.
okay.
And hopefully, something will happen there. And it's up to Ocoee Utility anyway, even though, no matter how many letters we send them. But, anyway, I've talked to them, so hopefully things will happen.
Anything else? Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
It's 13 in favor, none opposed, and one absent.
Agenda item A, Commissioner Scott Gilbert.
A motion to submit a letter to the Bradley County federal and state legislature delegate, requesting consideration of Bradley Healthcare and Rehab Center as a Veteran Affairs Community Care Program provider for Bradley County veterans. Mr. Chair, if it would be all right, I would like for Mr. Marlowe, he's wrote the commission a letter, and I'd like for him to
It'd be very
speak on it
appropriate. He's
before we vote.
done a tremendous job, Commissioner.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for what you've done.
We
I
need a
mean,
second on that
all the
first.
hard work.
Yes.
We got a second from Commissioner Winters.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'm here to say thank you to everybody that did, both known to me and unknown to me, that took action to help me with this. So also I want to thank you for being willing to send letters. I know that there's been some discussion of letters and things like that, but I believe strategic communication places a clear understanding of goals and conveys messages from constituents, and I appreciate you all being willing to be our voice. Circumstances have changed with relation to this particular veteran. When I met the patient, the veteran, I saw what I perceived was an issue. Time was of the essence, and I reached out to everyone I could think of for help, all of you, most of you, I believe all of you included. Going to a small home with his son at 15 years old, functioning as a caregiver even for a moment, to me personally as a father, was not acceptable. In doing so, I'm aware that I can be very direct. I can even be perceived as aggressive when I have no intention of doing so. To anyone I upset in this process, I want to say I'm sorry. I apologize. Time was of the essence, and I was in a mode to accomplish what I believe was for this veteran. I believe there are things we, as veterans in all levels of the legislative bodies, from here to the federal level, can work towards improving. I hope that by the time any other veterans in this rare and unique set of circumstances are discovered, there's no need for 6 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks of waiting a bed and inability appropriate for that person to go to. As of midnight Friday night, the veteran got comfortable in his room at the Alvin C. York VA Hospital in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He sent a video out to several of us. He's got an executive chair, a desk with a lamp, for people to sit with him. He's got a full couch with a fold-out bed and 2 additional chairs, a full bathroom and sink, a carpeted room, a large panel window. It is one of the newly renovated rooms there, so it's very modern with light accents, and it's just much more uplifting to be in the place he was at. And this isn't a slight on our hospital. Their rooms serve the purpose that they're designed for. The amenities there are very nice. Let's see. For those who aren't familiar with VA hospitals, they have people that are called ambassadors. They're affectionately called red jackets or red shirts. They're volunteers, typically retired members of the veteran community who go to veterans hospitals. They will do anything from aiding veterans in moving around, finding where they need to go, to just sitting in a room with a veteran, such as the one that's the subject of this. These volunteers spend time with them. They facilitate movements to the chapel where they can actually have their entire hospital bed rolled down to a chapel, and chaplains, their own staff there. Jacob proudly shared this video he sent out, and he said, "I'm at peace." So I hope we can find a way to move forward in a positive partnership to bridge this type of gap. Even if an entirely new thought process is put in place for the Tennessee State Veterans Home or any other facility, to enter into an agreement with the local hospital and VA funding authorities for a temporary plan for when we have someone in a hospital that is circumstance, they can go temporarily to somewhere else while they work towards a more permanent placement. I'm certain we can arrive at a solution that prevents the need in the future for a quick reaction nor a call to action by anyone on behalf of a dying veteran. Also, I want to give out a special thanks to Rodney Murray. I was with the veteran Friday evening shortly after 5 p.m. He asked, "Do you know Rodney Murray?" Confirmed I did, and he conveyed that he hadn't seen Mr. Murray in many years, but that he'd always been kind to him. I stepped outside under the guise of checking on his transport, I should say, and called Rodney Murray. He answered the phone immediately, and considering who was calling, he could have chosen to wait a little while and get the text message to see what I was bringing. But as I'm sure you all know, that isn't Rodney's character. He answered the phone immediately. I confirmed that he knew the veteran. He said he hadn't seen him in over 20 years. Once I told him that the veteran wanted to see him, he dropped what he was doing and drove straight to the hospital. Rodney reconnected with the veteran, bringing joy to a difficult situation. He hadn't seen him since childhood. I saw in the veteran's eyes when Rodney walked in a look of happiness and joy to reconnect. And so thank you to Rodney Murray. He stepped up and, was there for this man in his youth, hadn't heard from him in years, and dropped what he was doing to come say bye. So real quick to finish up, I want to recap what the community, both veterans, legislative body, everybody who was involved, has stepped up and done. We've accomplished the placement of a veteran in a facility that's appropriate for his care needs, pass on this from this world with dignity and peace. We aided in the placement of his son at the Big Oak Christian Ranch in Gadsden, Alabama. We aided the veteran in obtaining legal advice from a veteran now working at the local legal aid office in Tennessee regarding end-of-life estate and asset distribution planning. We reconnected the veteran with his roommate from his deployment to Iraq, who spent countless hours up there just sitting with our veteran in the hospital. We identified a gap or a delay in care that we can plan for in the future. We provided friendship and spiritual counseling in the final days here to help him feel more valued while we work to achieve the other incredible goals that have been accomplished. Too many people to name responded to that prayed for, including preachers, pastors, commissioners. A multitude of people just went by and said, thank you for his service and prayed with him. We appreciate that. And finally, the veteran was educated on his dependency and indemnity compensation that the VA offers for his surviving dependents. This was huge and was accomplished through the efforts from his VA life coaching staff, legal aid, and other professionals. He was experiencing an overwhelming set of circumstances, and at the time, the day I met him, which was 28 days ago today, by the way, 28 days ago, I met that young man who was 2 years younger than me. He was living in a constant state of worry and anxiety. The combined efforts of those who brought him legal and professional advice facilitated him making an informed decision about his end-of-life care, and he documented that to the professionals that came to aid him. In a time wherein he was only feeling reactive, he was given the means to have a small piece of control that was very, very beneficial for his mental health. Again, thank you all. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me personally if I can be of any assistance going forward in this matter or any others. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I've took a little while. I apologize for the time, but are there any questions? All right. Again, thank you all.
Mr. Gilbert.
I just want to thank you, Daniel, and I want to thank each one of you veterans up here. It means the world to me. It's my freedom that you fought for. And all the veterans out there, I'll fight for you. So thank everyone, and that's going to be all for me. And
Any other discussion? There being no other discussion, call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
It's 13 in favor, none opposed, and one absent.
Thank you. Agenda item B has been withdrawn. Now we'll move to agenda item C. Commissioner Rogers, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution to rezone from FAR Forestry Agricultural Residential District to I-1 General Industrial District. Property located at Michigan Avenue Road and Wilkinson Road and identified by tax map 043 parcel 021.00. You can see all of this on pages 29 and 30. I place this in form of a motion.
All right, we will, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Commissioner Slater. We'll now go into a public hearing for the rezoning request. Is there anyone here to speak for or against the request? Please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. My name is Travis Henry. I'm here on behalf of the property owner, Lynn Jones. As you know from your packets there, Mr. Jones owns this property. It consists of 89 acres located off of Michigan Avenue and Wilkinson Avenue. And his desire is to rezone 60 acres of this from FAR to general industrial. His intended use is really a mixed use for this property. First of all, the front 5 to 6 acres on the corner of Wilkinson and Michigan Avenue, he would like to construct an indoor baseball facility. He has the contract in place, ready to proceed with the development of that. And then on the back part of that, he would like to build warehouses as part of his development plan that we've submitted to the county. The back 30 acres, he would like to reserve that for potential residential development in the future. This passed the Planning Commission unanimously, and at that point, we've worked very hard to make sure that we've addressed the concerns of the surrounding property owners. To my knowledge, I don't believe that any surrounding property owners have any objection to this. As you know, directly across the street, there already is an industry there. It's industrial use. On the other side of Wilkinson, there is a residential development. Mr. Lake Mantooth owns this property. We've met with Lake. He is in agreement with this. To my knowledge, he has no objection to this request. Also, at the Planning Commission meeting, D.R. Horton has worked with Mr. Mantooth on the development of that property. They had a representative here. They indicated that they are also in support of this request. In addition, this property is uniquely situated. It's about half a mile from the airport. And so it plays a very important economic development role here for our county. Mr. Berry is here on behalf of the Economic Development Board. He's indicated that they are in full support of this request. This is going to be approximately a $70 million project, and so it has significant benefit for our tax base. But it's one of those unique projects that not only can benefit us from a tax perspective and an economic perspective, it can also benefit some of our young people in this community as well. After our last meeting last week, Dr. Cash approached my client and indicated her interest in the schools being able to partner with them to be able to use this baseball facility. And that's something we would certainly be interested in, and it would be something that would benefit our school districts as well. And with that, we respectfully request that you would consider this request.
Anyone have any questions? Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against the proposal?
My name is Doug Berry, and I'm with the Industrial Development Board for Bradley County and the City of Cleveland, as well as the Chamber of Commerce. just want to state that one of the areas that we are not properly equipped at this point in time is in warehouse space available for lease. This past year, most all of that has been absorbed, and we are in desperate need of more existing buildings for both our existing industry to have to store their goods in, but also for us to work with new companies that have an interest in that. We would appreciate your support of this request for rezoning.
Anyone have any comments or questions for? Is there anyone else that would like to speak for or against the proposal? We have a motion from Commissioner Rogers, a second from Commissioner Slater. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Goins.
Yes.
Slater.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Ledford.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Winters.
Yes.
Hughes.
Yes.
Alford.
Yes.
Cry.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
It's 13 in favor, none opposed, and 1 absent.
Thank you very much. We'll now move along to agenda item D, Commissioner Mike Hughes.
Mr. Chairman, this is simply a motion to submit a letter to the Bradley County Road Superintendent requesting a reevaluation of the intersection of Moore Road and Moore Circle Road with consideration of future growth. I put that in form of motion.
Do I have a second? Second on Commissioner Goins. We're open for discussion, please. Commissioner Blake.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that in Chairman Mason, chairman of the road committee, this came up, right? And
It
I
did.
apologize, I wasn't able to attend the road committee, and I'm the new member, I was out that day. Didn't the superintendent already opine on this?
Yes, he did.
And he basically, I mean, he did a study on it.
He did. He sent some of his guys up there. They went up there to look at it.
So he's
Weren't in favor to do anything.
wasn't okay. So I thank you. That's all I need to know.
Anyone else have any questions?
Could we follow up? Could we follow up on that? What was his concern?
He just didn't think that there was enough traffic flow on the road.
Anyone else? No further discussion. Call the roll, please. Oh,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Collins.
I'd just like to ask council what, maybe in a broad stroke, what an evaluation would look like, what perhaps a reevaluation would look like. Do you have any wisdom for us in terms of our role as a commission in regards to the road superintendent and that department in general?
Sure, and I do not have a detailed understanding of it to give you the exact protocols that they use, but there is a uniform traffic device manual that they look at. So it definitely is not as easy as just throwing up signs or control devices wherever you want to without any thought given to that. So sometimes sometimes they look at things differently than citizens may look at it. So in a general broad context, we certainly should rely on our road superintendent with the knowledge to know when and if you should put up traffic control devices, because putting them up does not always make it more safe. So my suggestion would be that we rely on their expertise in those areas.
Would it be unreasonable to believe a reevaluation would yield a different result than the initial evaluation?
I wouldn't think so unless there's something else to consider or new factors to consider, but I would not think so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Winters, please.
Commissioner Mason, has the commissioner of the roads looked at other options besides stop signs? Evidently, members of that community think that there's a problem. Is there another?
I don't think so, but we can, we can bring it up again and go out and look at it.
Commissioner Hughes, as I understand, we now have 80 plus or minus signatures on the petition. The petition was not prepared and available at the time the road department went out and inspected. Is that correct?
That is correct. And that petition is actually attached to the letter. So if you look inside this, you'll see that petition also signed. The majority of those people that cited are for more road and more circle, so I take that in consideration. Plus, I know there's a lot of future growth there, and I don't know if that was thought about whenever the evaluation. In fact, I really don't know when the evaluation was done, but it's, in my judgment, worthy of a quick reevaluation of it.
Any other questions, comment, discussion? Call the roll, please.
Goins,
Yes.
Slater, Mason,
Yes.
Ledford,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Winters,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Alford,
Clarification, are we just voting on, reevaluating this piece of property?
Yes.
I vote yes, yes.
Cry,
Yes.
Blake.
Yeah.
Collins.
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
13 in favor, none opposed, and one absent.
Thank you very much. Communications from the audience. I'll now entertain if anyone wants to speak before. Yes, sir.
I'm Bob Nipper, and I submitted that petition out of District 1, and I would like to thank the commissioners for their vote in reevaluating this. That is something I never thought about before, of asking for a traffic count to this intersection. And if we could do that, Commissioner Mason, I sure would appreciate that step forward to this solution. And I'll be sure and let everyone know on that petition what happened.
Okay, we can do that.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to speak before the commission? We'll now move along to the announcements, and I'd like to start off from Commissioner Winters. I forgot and didn't write down the date and time of your meeting.
Thursday at 2 o'clock.
Thursday at 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock here.
At 2 o'clock. Okay, AAA Cleveland, ribbon cutting October the 23rd at 9:30 a.m., 4675 North Lee Highway. Growth Study Committee, October the 24th at 4 p.m. here at the courthouse. Chamber Connect, October the 24th at 4:30 p.m. Courtyard, 4386 Frontage Road. History Happy Hour, October the 24th at 6 p.m. at the Museum Center. Drug Take Back, October the 26th, 10 a.m. at 2 p.m. Leisure Time Bowling, Keith Street. Jenkins Chili Cook-Off at Cornhole Tourney, October the 25th, 11 a.m. Main Street Cruise In, October the 26th, noon to 4 p.m. Ribbon Cutting Charter Senior Living, October the 26th at 9:30, or 28th at 9:30 a.m. And Main Street Cleveland, October the 28th at noon at the Museum Center.